Good morning, Dukes. Today is Tuesday, November 14th, and it is the B-Day. I'm Tim.
And I'm Chandler.
And you're watching the Duke Daily. During the week of November 13th through 17th, 2017, schools throughout the country will celebrate National School Psychology Awareness Week to highlight the important work school psychologists and other educators do to help all students thrive.
Now here's our reveal from our Throwback Thursday. If you guessed that this is our wonderful life skills teacher, Cher Jing, then you guessed correctly. And now for our Harbor video.
Kids at school today, they're busier than ever. Whether it's multiple AP classes, maybe after school activities, maybe you play multiple sports. Kids are leaving one event 10 minutes early to get to the next one 10 minutes late. And there's this crazy strive for perfection now. It's like you've got to get the perfect grades to go to the perfect college, to get the perfect job so you can have the perfect life. And this strive for perfection, it's caused this overwhelming amount of pressure. Now there's this insane amount of stress. For some of you, your pressure and stress, it's not just from school or getting into college or playing sports. Your pressure, your stress, that comes from home. So everybody in life deals with pressure, everybody deals with stress, and we all have a story, but you have a pretty unique story. So tell me a little bit about life growing up and what it was like for you.
It is definitely a complicated one. My whole life, my mom and dad always had problems with drug and alcohol growing up. When I was 10 years old, my dad actually ended up taking his own life. My mom ended up, going deeper into her addiction of alcohol, and I just had to kind of take the role, because my brother was in college, I had to take the role of the adult figure almost, and I had to take care of my mom. And
What is taking care of your mom?
She was pretty incapacitated. She couldn't go to work, she couldn't drive me to school, she couldn't make my lunches, couldn't make dinner, anything like that. So I kind of had to take on that role of, taking care of the house and taking care of the pets and taking care of her ultimately.
So, tell me about, with all that stuff going on, tell me about, school. What was it like trying to still go to school and take care of your mom?
It was definitely a challenge. I had no time. I didn't care for the most part. I really didn't care. I had my mom on my mind, School wasn't my priority. I didn't have it in mind.
Talk to me about how you dealt with, just the pressure of being a kid and having to be an adult at the same time.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you how I got through it. It was really, really tough for me. I think I was so focused on making sure my mom was okay and that she was gonna be okay, because she was my loved one. She was the only thing I really had left, that I kind of just put all my effort into her. And
tell me what kind of pressure you have now and what stress you have now and how do you deal with it?
I'm a full-time student. I have a part-time job. I'm also in sports. I'm in ASB. I have many, social activities I try to get into. It's definitely a lot. There was one point where I was going to school, practice, work every day, full day, wouldn't get home till 9 o'clock. So having to jump in school with that, studying, it's really tough.
We all feel pressure, we all feel stress. Sometimes it's about school, sometimes it's at home, sometimes it's about our future. And the older you get, that doesn't go away, it just looks different. So we've got to figure out how to cope. And the way that we do that, it looks different for all of us.
Find people to talk to. That's always the biggest thing. You find someone to talk to, there's always people that are willing to help you, academically, tutor-wise. There's always people, if you feel too stressed, that you could always talk to, whether it be the school faculty or friends that you might have.
I think the best stress reliever for me is exercise in general, but just go out for a walk with the dogs or just go to the gym with some friends.
I deal with my stress by listening to music a lot. I'm really attached to my music and I listen to it at all times. A lot of the times I write down my feelings and my thoughts so that they're not just kept inside all the time. I find that that's really damaging and destructive to me. And if not, I'll just talk to my mom or my dad about it and try to get it out. But I usually try to stick to listening to my music and writing things down. It helps me cope better.
The reason I'm not overwhelmed with my busy life is because I focus on the right thing at the right time. But so often people focus on the right thing at the wrong time. It's like you're caught up worrying about the big picture instead of focusing on these tiny little moments. And wherever that stress or pressure comes from, I get it. Maybe your parents want you to be perfect. Maybe you just want to maintain a C average so you can keep doing whatever school activity it is that you love. Maybe your home life is less than ideal and that's incredibly overwhelming. I want to offer you a little perspective. You're only in high school for like 1,400 days. You've got 1,400 days to decide what you want to be when you grow up, what you love, who you care about, what makes you you. And as important as it is to decide those things about your future, you've got to learn how to cope with the pressure and stress along the way. So for some of you, maybe it's listening to music, maybe it's talking to a friend, maybe it's exercise or eating healthy. And for some of you, maybe it's taking a few things off of your plate. But whatever your goals are in life, pressure, stress, they're always going to be there. But how you deal with it, that will determine your success.
Now here's the weather with Sam.
Thank you, Tim. It's warming up a little bit, but you can still expect some cold weather going throughout the week. Starting with today, with a high of 51 and a low of 35. Wednesday, with a high of 55 and a low of 40. And Thursday, with a high of 60 and a low of 35. Thank you for watching, and now back to the desk.
So Chandler, what's today's hot plate?
Well, Tim, today's hot plate will be spaghetti and meat sauce with a roll with a choice of fresh fruit and milk.
You know what? That sounds great. That's all the time we have for today, folks. And don't forget to shake and bake.